Hey, it's Aaron, the Metal Theologian. Alright, so there's some serious shit going on, man. There's some drama in the VC, and when there's drama, you can't fuck around with that. It's serious. You gotta, take that shit seriously and stay on top of it and, pay attention and make sure you know who's on what side and decide which side you're on so you can be sure to shit on the person, everyone who's on the other side, okay? That's really important. So I'm going to, wade in with my opinion here, okay? So as you all know, this whole thing kind of ended up around Vinyl Richie because, he made a video and kind of made a little bit of an ass out of himself trying to be supportive, but it totally backfired. And I think he knows that. But it was because of some shit that Brother Brian kind of sort of started with the Vinyl Guru and Omaha Introverts. So I figured what I'm going to do is to express my opinion on this because it's important. So I'm going to draw pictures of the people. Okay, so by the way, we're listening to MC Blade right now. Step into the Light. Cool record. The fuck? Did you see that flicker just now? It's supposed to storm tonight, and I'll tell you, South Carolina infrastructure sucks. If I go outside and take a piss, the fucking power will go out, let alone if there's a storm. So, yeah, so, alright, so here's Vinyl Richie, alright? See, his hair's kind of short. There we go. Okay, so he's kind of at the center of all this, but the guy who really kind of started is Brother Brian, right? So, let's see, he has his hair pulled back and shit, right? And that big fucking beard, right? So this is the guy who started all this shit, right? So send him VCLT. Wait, don't send VCLT, because if you send VCLT, you're a dick. No, I'm just kidding. But, fucking drama, right? It's serious shit, though. Okay, now here's the Vinyl Guru, okay? Let's see, she has glasses, too. I can't really draw her, because I don't really watch her particularly. But I can give her the hat. And that is super unflattering, and that's not a hint. I'm just saying, this is the, you've got to express the opinions, and let's see. I'm not going to do the Omaha Introvert, because she's the one who's actually, her feelings were hurt. You know what I think is funny about this? Okay, so seriously, bullshit aside, what's funny about this is that there's more than one vinyl community. That's the issue here. So, Brian's looking at this shit and saying he feels like the Vinyl Guru channel is kind of, I don't know, to give him the benefit of the doubt. I mean, what I would say is that it's more about the branding and building the, building the brand, building the channel, and, doing like what Vinylize and Too Many Records and bozos like that do. Now, there's not necessarily anything wrong with that, you know what I mean? But if you're my channel, that's not what you aspire to. That's not what you're doing with it, Now, if someone starts out a new channel and they have a PayPal link on their fucking thing, yeah, I mean, I'm probably not going to watch them that much, and I don't mean to shit on the Vinyl Guru here, actually. I think she's kind of fun to watch, so, I mean, I watch her occasionally. It's just not what I look for so much. Same thing with Channel 33 RPM, who's kind of the same kind of channel, I actually thought of both of them, too, when I was talking about these channels in an earlier video, but I deliberately didn't include them because they both seem like good people, and I just, they're just doing something different from what I'm doing. That's the way it is. So I didn't want to invite y'all to shit on them with Vinylize and Too Many Records, who deserve all the contempt you can rain on them. Okay, so obviously I don't really take this shit seriously at all. Oh, but you know what I really have to do to really get this across? There's going to be a little flashback for the people, because you know something? It's not really quality VC drama unless we have Dave Rico. And there he is, kind of bald with his beard, looking kind of like, because that was kind of the face he made. I actually kind of liked his channel, but he kind of seemed to lose his mind a little bit. So if you're new, meaning like when you've been doing this less than 5 years, and you want to see Dave Rico's videos, I'm afraid they're long gone. So, but that was some fucking drama though, like that was some quality drama. Okay, so everyone taking yourself too seriously, get over it. And that's all. I mean, I'm just fucking around with this shit anyway. So, let's look at a couple more records. Hey, so it's record store day, and there was actually something that I wanted this year. It was that Sun Ra box. I didn't get one. And I wasn't really that upset about it. I mean, I was, you know, it's a bummer, right? This is like the whole record store day thing. This is why, like, people like me don't really like to participate in record store day, even though I personally actually do generally go out, you know? But I went on Discogs to see if people were trying to, like, you know, basically if that Sun Ra box is being scalped now, because I figured how many people are there out there who are really going to listen to a fucking 5-record set of Sun Ra, you know? I mean, I mean, fuck, here, I'll just show you my fucking Sun Ra section real quick. See if I can do this without causing a problem here. I moved it. But yeah, if y'all haven't watched my channel that much, fuck, I have trouble positioning this. That's my Sun Ra section. I actually separated it out from the rest of the jazz so it wouldn't dominate, because that's the jazz over there, right? Shit, this isn't working very well. That whole section is the jazz, except for like Miles and Coltrane, who are over here basically. Anyway, I am the sort of person who'd sit down and listen to it. So, you know, something, other people beat me to it. I didn't feel like camping out overnight, that's fine. What annoyed me is I went on Discogs, and one of the guys from the label was like, someone was complaining about people scalping it. And the guy from the label went on there and was like, yeah, we pressed up plenty of these. Don't spend those kinds of prices. So I saw that, and that's like salt in the wound. I'm like, motherfucker, if you had pressed plenty of them, my local shop would have gotten more than one. And they wouldn't have been sold out all over my area by 10 a.m. if you had pressed plenty of them. So don't fucking, it's okay, I can deal with the fact that I missed out. But don't rub salt in the wound, you fucking asshole. And you know something, they're probably not even assholes, they're probably just being stupid. But whatever. I draw a picture of them too, but it's no good. I don't know what they look like. So, yes, that's about it. That's sort of my dramatic day. Other than that, I've been playing a little bit of if you know what that video game is, say something. That's more fun than if I just tell you, right? Alright, so let's look at a few records, okay? And you know something, when I show the shit I'm about to show you, this is like why I don't feel like I have the right to get too upset about something like the Sun Ra thing, because I know I have good shit, you know what I mean? Like this one, and like this fucking record, which is cheesy as hell, but I love it. Fucking Valhalla, I don't know, I want to say Pittsburgh, I know it's Pennsylvania. You know, it's kind of synthy. I mean, it's about as heavy as this, really, you know? Which isn't really that heavy. This is more epic, though. This is kind of more, I don't know, has a foot in the 70s, really, you know? So, yeah, recorded in Pennsylvania. I don't see a fucking address on here. It's funny. Anyway, I'm pretty sure these guys are from Pittsburgh. It's a great record. If you like epic metal, you need to hear it. In fact, you should probably hear it anyway, but if you're put off by the synths, this is going to put you off. This is actually my second copy of this, because the first time I got it, I was like, what a piece of shit. And I actually ended up selling it. I made a profit, too. But, yeah, and I almost forgot something important here. And that would be, where is it? Right there. Check out that fucking mustache, man. That's a thick boy. That's what a mustache should be. Hell yeah. Alright, so there's that. I actually put this one out, too. You know, this might be my favorite Vengeance record, although, no, it's probably not. I think One's Dead is, but I just played this earlier, man. It's really fucking good. I've been all over this band lately, you know? It's like I can sit here and find things to nitpick about, but on balance, man, this is easily one of my favorite Jesus bands. And just overall, they're a fantastic band. You know, all 4 records are great. This, in contrast, I don't know, I thought it was a turd when I played it the other day. It's not great. It's just kind of sort of middle of the road, kind of hard and heavy stuff. No, they look awesome. I mean, my God. That's about as well as you can do if you don't have a fucking mustache. That's the only way to, like, turn that one up another notch. And also that art, I mean, look at the hand and shit, you know? A friend of mine, actually Doom Paul, who hasn't made a video in a long time, but his channel's a lot of fun, too. He draws, too. And he said when you see him doing the robot hand like that, it means the artist couldn't really draw a hand well. And, given the rest of this, I can believe it. Here, let's flip this bad boy. Actually, maybe I should put on that Valhalla for a minute. No, I just fuck it. I'm just gonna flip this. I was gonna make this a fucking epic video, you know? Although, I've been making them so infrequently, I've kind of deliberately been making them a little bit longer. You know, you don't have to watch it all at once if you don't want to. You don't have to watch it at all if you don't want to. But, you know, if you want to watch it in pieces or something, that's cool. Oh yeah, speaking of Jesus fans, I still love this record, man. You know, I was talking theology last time and sort of like having been raised in Orthodoxy and sort of my perceptions of Protestantism, both growing up and then also later as an adult. This still weirds me out because the way I grew up, it would be considered pretty disrespectful to call your band Neon Cross. Like, Neon Cross isn't really the sort of thing you'd be saying, you know? But clearly these guys were, you know, they didn't intend any impiety. Even though I bet this guy likes to fuck. Maybe that's what he was doing, like... Whatever, I don't want to speculate, it's funny. Actually, this is on, like, the worst, like, Jesus metal label, too, Regency. Like, people tend to talk about pure metal, and pure metal is pretty shameless, okay, but Regency is where the real shit was. They put out that fucking Contagious record, Free Indeed, which is just comically bad. But this one is great, man. And actually, there's one other one on Regency I want to say. I don't remember what it was. Scott will probably tell me in the comments. Yeah, I mentioned Scott like every single fucking video, Scott Waters. So I really like Scott, in case you haven't noticed. So yeah, it's funny though because this sort of thing still just feels a little bit foreign. But this is a great record, man. The fucking singer is so screechy. I could see where it might grate on you, but I think it's awesome. Then again, I love Militia. And I don't think anyone hits higher notes than Mike Solis of Militia. You know something, I got this one. I actually passed on this once or twice because I thought it looked lame. See that terrible cover? I mean, that just looks like... I don't know, if it weren't for a little tear like that, it might not be quite so wimpy, but it's like, it's kind of bad anyway, and it's kind of awesome, actually, isn't it? Anyway, this kind of looks wimpy. But it's pretty good, man. I mean, this is a lot heavier than you think it is. You know, with that airbrush art job and that, it kind of smells like AOR. And, you know, the picture isn't really all that... You know, I'm not seeing any scarves or silk or anything like that in there. So maybe not. And it is on Mausoleum, but still. I remember seeing this in a dollar bin when I was living in LA and passing on it. But that was different times. Yeah, anyway, this isn't a bad record. I mean, I don't know if it's worth, say, $20, but if I found this for less than $10, I'd grab it in a heartbeat. It's a fun record, not incredible, not as Swedish as you'd like it to be. These guys are Swedish, if I'm not, yeah, Stockholm. These guys are Swedish, so it doesn't quite have that Swedish magic that, like, you hear from, like, an Overdrive or a Heavy Load or a Glory Bells band or something like that. But it gets close to it, you know what I'm saying? Like, they'll be really good and, like, almost Swedish sounding, but they don't quite attain that height, you know what I mean? Maybe I'm romanticizing Sweden a bit, but you know something? A lot of things to like about Sweden. Alright, cool. Oh, here's one that I got. You know, so I remember this one coming out, and this is another kind of weird one because of the pus head cover. And this is really kind of outside of my wheelhouse. This is like 1990-ish. Produced by Glenn Danzig. That explains something. It's funny that I didn't notice that. Yeah, see, so first of all, you know, there are no mustaches on this. Because their mustaches were just out of favor by the time this thing came out. This, you know, it really sounds like a metal record cut in 1990, which is I'm pretty sure when it came out, where they were really listening to the grunge shit and sort of where the popular music was going, you know, not like the corny pop, right? But like what was really big in the early 90s was grunge on the one hand and rap on the other. That's what I sold all day long at the record store and shit. And so this kind of sounds like it's informed by that, you know what I mean? Like the guy has, the singer is like a little bit like, you know, like he could have come out of a band like Soundgarden or something like that. Almost. You know what I mean? He doesn't quite have that sort of like not really metal style that Chris Cornell has. You know what I mean? Where it really is kind of more from the punk. So, I haven't even quite decided if I'm going to file this in metal. I probably am. Because it really is a metal record, but it just doesn't quite play by the same rules, you know? I want to say it sounds dated, but that's a little bit more pejorative than I mean, because I actually really like this record. You know? And it does sound kind of dated. But it's not dated in the sense of like, oh Jesus, like mustaches, right? It's more like, it sounds like the time it came from, so that's enough about that though. I'm playing this one a lot. Kind of just grabbed this. This is going back to Renee's Argentina video again, but I was able to turn up this reissue of the second V8 record, which is fantastic. These guys are so fucking good. Showing this off. It's kind of a limited reissue. I think there's still some around. It's funny, it's on Beat Generation. And I could swear my copy of the first one. No, it's Big Beat that I'm thinking of. Never mind. Okay. I was thinking there was like a punk reissue label. It's not like that, but I was thinking of Big Beat. And I don't even know if it's so much punk they did, but that's I have a reissue of the first Motorhead that's on Big Beat. Anyway. Really good. Probably one of the first 3 or so bands you should check out if you decide you want to start checking out Argentine metal. Gotta tell you about this one. When I sent away for that one, I put this one in too, just to sort of fill in the order, because I'm such a big Celtic Frost fan. Now, some of these, some of the other people in the, I don't even want to say vinyl community now, right? Some of the other people you might see on here have been really into these bootlegs that have been coming out. There's been some label or another who's been putting out all these radio shows that sound great and the performances are good. And like, you name a band and they've got some. There've been a bunch of AC/DC and I'm pretty sure Kiss and a bunch have kind of tempted me, but I'm afraid of going down the path of starting to collect that kind of shit, so I've mostly stayed away. But I figured this one, Celtic Frost Rehearsal from '84, so like right after the change now. In fact, it has Messiah on it, which was a Hellhammer tune. So, also look at that fucking helmet. How good is that? It's not that easy to see because it's so dark, but I'll just give you a second here to take it in. But unfortunately, this record isn't really that great. I mean, the sound is fine. Of course, the songs are tremendous, but it kind of sounds like a rehearsal, not so much as far as like fucking up or starting and stopping and the sorts of things you might do in like a real rehearsal, but like on Into the Crypts of Rays, there's like a big long section where it sounds like they're just sort of playing the main riff again or going through the verse and chorus pattern without just sort of extra after the song's basically over. It's like they're padding it out, probably because they're practicing, you know what I mean? But it's just not what I was hoping for. I was hoping it'd be kind of a little gem, and it's kind of not, so I don't really recommend it. What's next? Here. While we're between records, let me shout out Mr. Eric Weinbender for a minute, who inspired me to pull this out. We'll see how much jazz I start listening to. Can you see that's in a silent way? But yeah, he just put us a video earlier today. He fucking hit the mother load when it comes to Miles stuff. So, where did I put the fucking inner? Are we going to play this goddamn game? We did play this fucking game in the last video. Where's the inner? Like, all I can think now is Hide the Salami. This is a great record too, by the way. This is not an original. Let me just cop to that. This is a reissue from a few years ago. An Eat Metal reissue. Which is also limited, by the way, but they pressed enough. which that fucker in New York didn't do. Son of a bitch. No, I'm just kidding. No. Apparently they're going to reissue, like the 3 original Sun Ra records, they are going to reissue, the ones that were in that box, but they're not going to redo the other ones. And those are the ones I care the most about, but it is just kind of the principle. It's like, don't fucking, if you didn't press enough, that's okay. Actually, you want to hear a story about this shit? It's a good thing this is kind of buried deep in the video, because this is as close to shit talk as I ever get. But long, long ago, when I was a lot more into black metal than I am now, we're talking, second half the 2000s, like between 2005 and 28 or something like that, maybe. There's a particular black metal artist. I'll put on V8 for a minute. No, actually, I don't feel like hearing V8. I'm going to put on this one instead. Check this out. See, I went over the V's and just started pulling shit out, right? That's why it's all V's this time. Put on this one. Venin. This is a reissue, too. On the fantastic Chameleon label, actually, out of France, who has kind of done a few gems of French metal. Like, they haven't done, like, Devil's Records shit, but, like, the really mega rare ones like this one, or the Aaaargh record. I think that's how you pronounce it, Aaaargh. Okay, so anyway, there was a particular black metal guy. It's actually the dude from Drowning the Light. And what he would do is he was friends with the dude from Reissues, and his shit was always super popular anyway. So he basically, you know, he'd make an album, give it to MN over at Reissues, and do an edition of like 100 run of like a tape or something like that. Okay? It would sell out instantly, because Drowning the Light was already pretty popular by then. And people would start selling it on eBay. So what the guy would do then is he would go on the Full Moon Productions forum, which was still pretty active at the time, and start complaining, like, oh, what the fuck, these people are selling this tape so much, blah, blah, blah. So what do you think happened, especially on that forum, if anyone here remembers it? He got trolled. He got the shit trolled out of him. Oh my god, dude, one of the best things I ever fucking saw was, people used to make jokes about him being fat, which I don't know if he actually is. Like, 1 or 2 pictures, he looks a little chubby, but not as fat as I am now, you know? But there was one where he was like, he had his paint on, he was like doing some black metal pose, like, like this or something. And someone like photoshopped a thing of French fries from McDonald's into one of his hands. It was just fucking funny. So eventually he learned his lesson. He's a pretty good dude, by the way. I don't know the Drowning the Light guy well, but all my interactions with him have been pleasant. So again, I'm not shitting on the guy. Like I said too, he learned his lesson. As far as I can tell, he's still pretty popular, and his shit, at least the shit that he's more proud of, which is, you know, is pretty readily available, you know? So, but I was flashing back to that, you know what I mean? Because it was so obvious what was going on. I was like, if you want people selling it for, if you want people inflating their prices, print enough of them, you know? Especially with those tapes, because all you have to do is print a few more covers. Because they were distributed as dubs anyway, so. It's like, doesn't even cost very much money, but it's like, it's all underground and shit, so. Anyway, I thought that was hilarious at the time. I still think it's pretty funny. And Aaaargh, if you're watching, which I'm sure you're not, respect, man. Seriously. So, yeah. What else do we got here? Okay, I got 2 more on my show. I just pulled this out again. Oh, okay, let me tell you something. I just pulled this out again. It's kind of a turd. I got this a long time. It was actually one of the first, like, private pressings that I got, and I kind of hated it. Because it's wimpy and poppy, and, you know, and I kind of resented it and filed it away and forgot about it. So I pulled it out again today after, like, no shit, easily 10 years. And it's pretty good. It's not great. I mean, it's wimpy and kind of poppy and that, but the songs are pretty decent. And you know something? There's really nothing to resent about this record, or particularly dislike or anything. They're even from Cleveland. Now I'm looking again to see if I recognize any of them now. So, here's a little trick, actually. Here's something I've been doing of late, okay? I actually thought of this when I copied the first Montrose record, which I got out of a dollar bin, you know, and it's about in comparable condition of this, which is not great, but totally fine, you know? It's like I didn't pay much for this. You see there's a little bit of a corner clip and like the edges are a little bit worn. And you know, I've got no problem with a copy like this. I'm nowhere near a fucking mint freak, right? If you take a record like this that you're a little bit down on anyway, and put it in a brand new plastic sleeve, and now all of a sudden it looks really nice. You know what I mean? It just gives a little bit of gloss. It feels a little better in your hands. And I found that, like, it's a weird little psychological trick, I guess, but I found if I take a record that I kind of don't give a shit about and do that, in some cases I'll even, like, have an old one on and I'll change it out. All of a sudden I'll feel better about the record and start enjoying it more. So try it out sometime if you have some records that kind of, like, you kind of resent a little bit. They're not in the condition you'd like, maybe, or they weren't as good as you're hoping, and it might lift your spirits, make you feel a little bit better about it. And speaking of lifting spirits, last record of the evening, I played this all the way through last night. Lest you think I only sit around and listen to weird shit all day long. Fucking Venom, welcome to hell. Here, I'll show you the poster and shit too, since I have it. This record is so good. And like, you can see it on this side too, but like, the axe, come on, man. You can't argue with that. And if you try to argue with it, the fucking mustache will beat you. Yeah, so Venom, obviously, not so much known for their mustaches. But, great band. Yeah, here's a lyric insert. I think only the first press came with these. It's actually one of the very first records I bought on eBay. And here's the poster that came with it, too. Check it out. They really don't look all that intimidating, just hanging out by the rocks, do they? Like Kronos is making his face. But, you know, we all make faces like that sometimes, you know? It's just kind of life. Yeah. Classic record from a great band. And, that's it. I mean, there's more I could show, but I gotta save some for next time, right? So it's almost a half hour. Appreciate everyone watching. Yeah, that's it. See you next time.